Okay, so I want to talk about something right quick. And I want to talk about just beware of being friends with people or trusting people who you know that are just very, very ugly, nasty to other people. Be careful with thinking folks like that is cool with you or your friends. Here's why. Because just in general, I have heard this a lot. Not in any one particular situation. I hear it a lot. I've heard it so many times where you can know of a person that is just so nasty to so many doggone people. Just nasty for no reason at all. Nasty. Sometimes downright evil, do some of the most nastiest things to ruin people's lives and just mess with their livelihood. But then, this is what I would hear a lot with other people. Oh, well, they're cool with me. They're nice to me. They're sweet to me. Number one, I really hate it. I've kind of learned to really dislike it when I hear other people say that. Because you discredit other people's experiences. When I say you, I'm speaking in general. You discredit other people's experiences with this person. And basically, you're pretty much saying because they have been cool with you, because they haven't done anything to you that you know of, because they have pretty much been covert and not overt with you, because you don't know what those people are doing behind your back. But I'm going to get to that. That's what I'm going to get to. You know, don't discount somebody else's experiences. Like if I say, this person was nasty, they did everything to ruin my reputation, I've been trying to be nothing but nice to them, kind to them, whatever. This is just an example, nothing that actually happened. But they do everything to ruin my reputation because they just feel like being nasty, they feel like just ruining somebody's life. And they don't, it just nothing at all. Like you can say, I never did anything. You hear this a lot. I never did anything to her. I never did anything to him. And they just do everything possible just to be ugly, be competitive, just to be, do everything. Now, and from what my experiences and my realities, I've seen a lot of blood sacrifices. And I don't see it at no celebrity level either. I see the regular person just in the family, something like that. Just regular folks, people don't know that stuff is being put on them, but that's another story. It's like you got to be careful with folks that you know, especially when you know they're doing things to somebody else. I happen to just be aware of a lot of black magic blood sacrifices that happens. That people are unaware things are happening to them because somebody else is taking their energy so they can get some kind of material or financial gain. They got to take something from somebody else, and then you got somebody else that can't figure out why their life ain't right, why stuff keep going wrong in their life and their relationships at work, and their finances, stuff don't seem to be right, their head don't seem to be right, they can't seem, so something is going on with their energy. Somebody is taking from them, but they don't realize that's what's going on. They don't realize that was, but my point is, I don't want to get into that. My point is that, you can have somebody that can witness a person doing all this nasty stuff. In my case, I use the example of what you would call black magic, or just, whatever you want to call it, mental magic, whatever you want to call it. And because the person is doing all this work to somebody else, because they might be cool with another person and be nice to another person, then that other person would discredit everything they see. They don't care about nothing that this person has done to anybody else because they are cool with them. And they would discredit somebody else's experience, knowing goodness well that they even have witnessed this person doing some very, very ugly stuff to other people. But at the same time, don't care because that person is nice to you. And somehow, because that person is nice to you, somewhere in your mind you feel like, well, they might have done something to deserve it, until that person turns on you. And so my point is you got to be careful, folks, like that. Even when it comes to a supervisor, even when it comes to friends, it don't even have to be with what you would call magic and all that stuff, or manipulation, right? Manipulation. It could be anything. It can be like a mean supervisor that's always doing nasty stuff to their subordinates, okay, to their employees. It could be It could be anything. You know, it can be somebody that you're friends with. You notice they do a lot of nasty stuff to somebody else. You know, and you be like, well, that person is always nice to me. They always nice to me. It's like you almost have to walk on eggshells around folks like that, because if you know they have a habit, they might have a temper, or they might have a habit of doing ugly, wicked stuff to other folks. You got to be careful with them, because the minute you got to give them the side eye, because the minute anything happens that they feel like you did something to offend them, if they feel like you did something to piss them off, then they're going to do to you what they're doing to those other people, and you're going to try to figure out what you did wrong, and you're going to try to, and people like that don't have a conscience. They're going to do everything possible, depending on how mad they are with you, if they're either willing to let it go, or if they want to hold on to it and just ruin your life like they doing to other people. They're unrelenting. They're unrelenting. And you can't get them to see that they're doing anything wrong. You can't get them to see it. People like that don't have a conscience. So one good thing about me was I was never a person who was, I was never the kind of person that was just kind of I was always, put it like this, I was always a loner. I was always a loner. And it probably is a good thing, because you got to be careful around folks like that. Because somebody who's always ugly, nasty like that to everybody else, you got to ask the question, what is so special about you that this person wants to be nice to you, but they're so ugly to everybody else? You got to ask the question, what is it about you that they're nice? Because if they're doing this to everybody, and most of the people they do this to haven't done anything to them, but they get gratification out of being so ugly, nasty, competitive. You better be careful. You got to be careful with that, and you need to wonder what it is about you that they like. What is it about you that is attracting them to you? Okay, because the truth be told, somebody with that kind of that level of something in them like that, the fact that they could be friends with somebody else and the other person say, well, they sweet to me, I question the other person, what's really in them. Because what's being shown clearly in this other person might not be shown so much in the person that feel like that person is sweet to them. What is in that person that feel like, oh, they're sweet to me? What is in you that is attracting that person, that you guys can just hang around like that? It got to be something that attracting them to you, that you guys are able to mesh. So I would question, what's in you? You know, deep down it could be some of the similar things to that person. But at the same time, regardless if it's some similar things to that person, they still fight. If that person ever gets angry with you, and they get to the point where they don't want to deal with you no more, and then they to the point where they can't let it go, whatever it is they're angry about, they can't just let it go. They're going to do everything possible to make sure your life is a living hell. And they probably might do worse than you. They might do worse to you than they have done to other folks. Okay, because in this case, you and this person had some kind of relationship. Whether it's friendship or whatever it is. In this case, you and this person had some kind of relationship. So if things go sour, it's going to be a lot worse than whatever they're doing to somebody else. It could be a lot worse than whatever they're doing to somebody else. Okay, so I just felt like saying that, because I hear this so much, and I really hate that, and I really get annoyed with that, and and I see it all the time. It really annoys me that somebody can just be so ugly. Just imagine, like, somebody could have done something to you that have caused you to completely lose your livelihood. They could have caused you to be homeless. They could have caused so much damage in your life just because they felt like being ugly. You don't even do nothing to them. They felt like being ugly. But then everybody else can witness how nasty and how ugly and what happened to you because of something they did, and you didn't even do nothing to them. And you can have other folks that witness what this person did, and they cool with that person. They don't even care. Matter of fact, they don't even care about how you doing. They think you should let it go because that person didn't do nothing to them. Well, just let it go because nothing ever happened to them. See, this is why this is why some people are trying to change this universe. People want to call it this universe. They want to change the rules where, one person suffer, everybody suffer. See, they want to change the rules to that, because if you see somebody that's done something so ugly to somebody else, know that it was just ugly what they did, but they cool with you, so you don't care. You don't care. You don't try to see how the other person is doing, because according to you, they've been nice to you. That is serious. That's real serious. And you got to really be careful being friends with somebody like that, because if they ever, I don't care how much they love you, I don't care how much they like you, because if they really love you, whether it's a friendship or whether it's attraction, whatever it is, whatever's coming for you, if you ever fall out, whatever is coming for you is going to be 100 times worse than what they did to that other person that you just looked over. And I speak in general when I say you, of course. Okay? But I really hate that. It's like people don't care. And I've heard some people that want to change the way the world is, change the rules, where if like you just can't watch one person suffer and you just going about your business. Like that's going on too much, where so much bad things happen to other folks. And then everybody, I'm not saying that you shouldn't live your life. Like if you see somebody sitting out somewhere and you should, okay, well, let me, lay on the bench too and experience. No, I'm not saying nothing like that. I'm talking about, for the most part, people don't care who else gets hurt as long as it's not them. And in this case, people witness what somebody else do that's very, very, very nasty to somebody else. They will witness it, and they'll turn around and be friends with the person that was nasty. And then when that person that was nasty end up turning on them, they expect everybody to feel sorry for them. I don't feel sorry for you. You sat there and you watched what this person did. And you sat there and you watched it. It was no cause for what they did. You sat there and you watched it. But they were cool with you. They were nice to you. So you didn't think nothing of it. You discounted somebody else's experience because they were cool with you. So you didn't care about what you just saw them do to somebody else. You didn't even care. You just went on to want to be friends with them. And when that person get mad at you, whatever they did to that person, it's gonna be a lot worse on you for having a relationship, any kind of relationship with that person, witnessing what they did. Whatever's coming for you is gonna be a lot worse. Okay? But anyway, that's all I got to say, and I will talk later. I just felt like bringing that up because I was just thinking about that. I was just thinking about that, it's just one of those things, how people just think about like quotes and all that kind of stuff. And so that just kind of ran across, like I was thinking about that yesterday, like people just want to be cool with folks, like, well, they nice to me, and so they don't care about what they did to somebody else, and they completely just discredit them, they completely overlook them, they don't care because that person is nice to them, so nobody else matters. Okay, that's the kind of world that has been created. Okay, that's the kind of world that's been created by the masses. Is that, well, as long as you're good to me, it don't matter how you do somebody else. It's a song like that. I don't care about those other girls, just be good to me. I think it came out in the 80s. I don't care about those other girls, just be good to me. See what I'm saying? She don't care if this man that she with at the time when that song came out. She don't care if he done beat on those other women. She don't care if he killed them. She don't care what he did to these other women. A serial cheater, having sex with anything he can lay his eyes on, which is so dangerous. I don't care what nobody say. She don't care about none of that. She don't care about nobody else's experience with this man, which is whatever he did before is going to let you know what he's capable of, because that kind of stuff don't go away just because they meet somebody new. That is something that's deeply embedded in them, and if they can stop for a little while, but it's going to come back up. Okay, so they might stop what they're doing for a little while, but it'll come back up. Anyway, yeah, so, yeah, that's an example too. And a lot of people, men and women, they get weak when it comes to somebody they're attracted to. And they don't care. They can hear about what they did to somebody else, and they don't care because they're so emotionally invested. And as long as they good to them, they don't care about all these other stories of what they've done to other women, or what this, in the case of a woman, what she's done to other men or whatever. Right? They don't care as long as that person is nice to them. But if this person has a habit of constantly having a certain behavior. If they have a track record of a certain behavior, it is only a matter of time before you see it. And nobody should really, I'm just gonna be honest with you, nobody, when you know their track record, I'm just saying, when you clearly know everything about them and what they have done, and you choose to turn a blind eye because they're nice to you, and so you discount everybody else's experiences like they're crazy, it's almost like nobody can feel sorry for you. Because you got to learn that you're nobody special. That person has a track record. That's a track record. And whatever they do to you is almost like well-deserved for turning a blind eye. Okay, and I just speak, this is just something that just needs to be learned. This is something that society needs to learn all together. Okay, because society has a problem with that. And that's why people talking about, when is there going to be peace? I don't care about no peace. Whatever peace I'm getting, I have to earn it. I have to create the peace I get. I'm not interested in no peace for humanity. I don't care about that. I don't care about humanity. Look at what humanity is. I did a video in 2020 called Humanity Gets What It Gets. I don't care about humanity. I don't care about peace for the world. I care about peace for myself because I see how the world is. I see how the world don't care. I see how the truth has been presented to people in the world, in the masses. So many times the truth has been given to them and they don't care. They don't care. Okay, so I don't care about peace for the masses because things didn't have to be the way they are. It could have been different. Okay, but we see clearly people don't care what the truth is because the truth has always been given to people and they didn't care. And the more people reject the truth, the less truth is going to be given to them. And that's just how it is. It's like if you're with an agency, or if you would like if you with some kind of job, like if you're looking for a job and you join those temp agencies, or you with like a regular acting agency or whatever, music agency, and they constantly giving you opportunities, sending you jobs, and you turn it down saying you don't want it, eventually they're going to stop sending you stuff. Right? Eventually they're going to stop sending you stuff because you're always turning stuff down. You're always saying no. So they're not going to take time to waste their energy trying to help you anymore. Well, that's the same thing with the truth. That's why I don't care about humanity. Because the truth was always there. The truth was always there. They rejected the truth to just do whatever they want to do. And so now the truth is coming less and less and less since it was rejected. Okay? So that's why I say, I don't be feeling, that's why I say I don't care about no peaceful society. Society has a problem with that in general. One main thing is with this VAC, right? The VAX or whatever. I've heard, as a therapist, I've heard other stories about people who, side effects, and even people who have died. And you don't have to be a therapist to know about people dying. That's on media, right? That's on YouTube. But just in general, as a therapist, I've treated patients that talk about their side effects and how, they've lost so much of their function, right? Their physical function after getting that thing. But then you have somebody else that want to force you to get it, and it's like, and I actually feel like that about the flu shot too because of things I've seen. And it's like, they're like, well, you're not going to get hurt. Nothing's going to happen to you. I'm like, how the hell you know? Because those people that got the vaccine before, they didn't know they were going to die. They didn't know anything was going to happen to them. I hate it when people feel like because they felt like they were okay, they felt like nothing happened to them, that nothing's going to happen to me. That they're going to see, that's what I'm talking about with society, where I don't care about humanity. You got a lot of people who got their vax, and I don't care about them getting a vax. I ain't into all that, putting people against the vax or no vax. I don't care about that stuff. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to tell nobody what to put in their body. I don't do that kind of stuff. But my point is that I hate it when somebody wants to discredit how you feel, knowing goodness well a lot of people have been affected very negatively from the vax. Women talking about how they became sterile or whatever. So many things that happened. After that vax, a lot of people died. There's so many stories of that, and I can't stand it because one person get it, and they say, well, nothing's happened to me, so you can get it. Do you know about what happens to all the? See, that's the same exact thing. of being around somebody who you witness has done all this nasty stuff to other people, but you don't care because that person is nice to you. So you discount everything that you saw. It's the same thing with the example of a vaccine, whether it's a flu shot or just that other vaccine they talking about. You seen what's happening to a lot of folks, but because you were okay and nothing happened to you, you gonna convince somebody else to just ignore their feelings about it and get it. Because nothing happened to you, you're telling somebody else to ignore whatever they feel. And you're ignoring everybody else who might have died or whoever might have got sick or what could have happened. You just basically saying ignore all of that because you were okay. And great, you were okay, but I hate that mentality. I hate that mentality that you feel like everybody else experience is discredited because you were fine. I can't stand that kind of mentality. But anyway, I'll talk later. I just felt like talking about that because that's something that's a huge problem. That some this has happened even in my family. I've been a black sheep. This is a huge problem with people. This is why I don't like people. And that a lot of people can witness somebody treating you so horribly and so bad, but they don't care because that person seems to get whatever they want. You know, they the boss of the family, or they the popular one of the family, or whatever they are. And they just kind of just throw you out. They know you're being treated like shit. They know that this bad stuff is happening to you and this person doing bad stuff to you in the family. But because it's not happening to them in particular, they just throw you out like trash. Whatever, I don't care what's happening to her. It ain't happening to me. Like, that is a serious problem with people. That's why I don't like people. I don't like people. People don't seem to, I don't feel like people have compassion. And then when you see some of the people don't have compassion for the things you go through, then it causes you to kind of lose your compassion for them. But then what happens is you have to get away from who you truly are. That's why I don't care about the society. Those Georgia Guidestones, guess what? If it's only 500,000 people left, that's probably good. Because if it's that many people that lack that kind of compassion, they don't care what they seeing happening to somebody else. They're going to be cool with whoever is wicked doing all kinds of ugly things to somebody else, as long as that person ain't doing nothing to them. Like, they could witness this person go and, for example, commit genocide to a whole group of people, right? To a whole group of people that haven't done nothing to them. Let me be clear. To a whole group of people that haven't done anything to them. And you can witness them committing this genocide. But they're cool with you, so you don't care that you just witnessed them commit this genocide. Like, you don't care what you just saw, what they did with this whole, and I'm not just talking about black Americans either. I'm talking about just in general. Okay? You could witness this person abuse whatever power they had to kill all these innocent folks. And it don't matter to you because that person is nice to you. That is why I don't care about those Georgia Guidestones. If it's really true, only 500,000 need to be left. Only 500,000 need to be left. So maybe because nature needs to be rebalanced again. Maybe that needs to be balanced with nature. Nature is out of balance. There is no nature. Honestly, there's no nature anymore. Okay? So maybe that's why a lot of people need to go. Okay? But we don't know who's going to stay, so it's best to get in alignment because we don't know who's staying and who's going. Okay? And it's not necessarily people who are going to stay. It's not necessarily who you think they are. Just because they might stay in a country don't mean they're the ones that's going to stay, because to me, just in my opinion, it's all about what's in your heart and not just not some physical location. It's really more about what's in your heart. So you better hope that heart is right and not just some physical location that you stay at because you stay in the country. Okay? It's about the heart. Okay? So, anyway, that's it. I just felt like talking about that briefly, and I will talk later.